At the time of making this video, the Latvian military has a modest fleet of around 40 high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicles, or HUMVEEs for short. These vehicles have been with Latvia for a while and are in need of replacement, with at least 10 of these vehicles coming from a donation by the United States in 2005. The Latvian Ministry of Defense tried to secure a replacement a few years ago, but this plan was put to a stop by government regulators. In this video, we look at what happened. So it was back in May 2018 that the Armed Forces of the Republic of Latvia started testing military off-road vehicles as replacements for its HUMVEEs. There were 4 manufacturers in the running to supply the most suitable light utility vehicle for the tasks of the Latvian army. The May 2018 testing was actually the second stage of tests. Prior to this, there were 6 manufacturers participating, but only 4 of them provided their equipment for testing. So the 4 candidates were the Finnish GTP 4x4 from Sisu Auto, the American HUMVEE from AM General, the South African Marauder Lav from Paramount Group, and the Turkish Cobra made by Otokar. It would appear that the Finnish Sisu GTP won the bid, and a deal valued at €181 million. However, the victory would be short-lived, with 2 bidders filing complaints about the outcome of the tender. The deal would go on to be cancelled due to the controversy. So, what happened? Well, according to an LSM report in January 2019, Latvia's Procurement Monitoring Bureau, or IUB, banned the Defence Ministry from signing a €200 million agreement to purchase the 4x4 armoured vehicles from Sisu. For those who don't know, the IUB is the country's procurement watchdog. The action stemmed from complaints filed by South Africa's Paramount Group and US AM General. According to the IUB, the Defence Ministry committed a number of violations in the procurement procedure, failing to fully reflect its needs in documentation and amending tender requirements. In particular, it was concluded that, among other things, there were methodological discrepancies with how the Defence Ministry chose the winning vehicles. The investigation found a handful of irregularities in the selection process, which might have influenced the procurement body's final decision. According to sources at the Defence Ministry, some companies did not meet some of the procurement requirements, although we don't know exactly what those requirements were. Nonetheless, the complaints were enough to have Latvia's Defence Ministry banned from signing an agreement with the winner of the negotiations procedure. So, news of the deal being banned was in January 2019, and so it was in April 2019 that we had news that a new tender would be launched. In July of that year, it was reported that 12 countries had been offered to submit their bids. The pandemic might have been a reason for a lack of progress. The Ministry of Defence indicated in June 2020 that the decision to temporarily suspend the procurement of 4x4 light and medium tactical vehicles was made in order to focus financial and administrative resources on the implementation of the 6x6 armoured vehicle project together with allied countries. An official statement reads, "Such a decision does not mean that 4x4 armoured vehicles will not be needed by the National Armed Forces in the future. It is also possible to equip such vehicles with adequate armament, ensuring the performance of relevant operational tasks. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any subsequent news on the process. Hopefully, there'll be something in the next few years." Now, Latvia will be getting brand new light tactical vehicles. But these aren't exactly replacements for the HUMVEEs, at least not in our opinion. In November 2024, it was announced that Latvia's Ministry of Defence initially plans to purchase one batch of more than 30 VR-Fox vehicles. As reported by Latvia's public broadcaster, it was in 2020 that the company applied for a grant competition to support the development of military or dual-purpose products. In autumn 2022, the company's prototype military vehicle, the VR-Fox, was presented, which is said to account for the geographical conditions of Latvia and developed specifically for the tasks and needs of the country's armed forces. Minister of Defence Andris Spruds was quoted as saying, "VR Cars has received a grant. The Latvian Armed Forces has advised the company and tested the prototype vehicle, and as a result it has been deemed suitable for the needs of the Latvian Army." With the conclusion of the contract, full-scale production of VR-Fox military off-road vehicles will start in Latvia, contributing to both supply chain security and the development of the Latvian defence industry by involving local companies in the production of spare parts. Now, one source mentioned that the vehicles would be used by Latvia's special forces. However, we couldn't find any other sources to back up this claim. The vehicles would fit quite well with the operations of special forces, considering how fast, light and agile they are. However, it's clear that these vehicles lack any significant armor for protection and are very much in a different league when compared to vehicles like the HUMVEE and GTP. It's not exactly clear to us if the VR platform will be the foundation for a HUMVEE replacement rather than one of the options in earlier tenders. However, it seems quite possible, as some have noted that the VR Fox is just the beginning and that future variants will be developed on the same platform. The website Designer Balva notes that the Fox is just the first variant. For now, it's just a base or scout variant that resembles a buggy without windows and doors. However, the website says that its modular design makes it possible to add windows, doors and a roof, at which point the car becomes a closed type or armored vehicle. So instead of considering the GTP, Cobra, Marauder or even new HUMVEEs, Latvia will perhaps instead be developing its own armored light tactical 4x4. But what do you think about Latvia's potential options for a light tactical vehicle? What do you think it should go with? Let us know by leaving a comment.